Mr. Rajendra is all gate up. The smile on your face says it all.
Welcome back. Welcome back. So can we have tell me how was the discussion in the rooms?
Very good, very good.
And what is the ultimate decision of each room? Room number 2, go first.
So we are 2 or 1, Raju sir? 2. So can we go 2?
Yeah.
You see, sir, this is the stage after formulation of stage and implementation of stage. Now at this stage, we have to take into confidence our sponsors. So those sponsors, we have to put all these things before them and take into confidence. So whether they are interested in the budget, or they are interested for implementation, or they are interested in the project. So can I share a small story? If you allow me.
But it has to be very short and very
short
fast.
Story.
Yes.
Short story.
Please,
no, there was a project, similar project at this stage in Birla family. Name of the project was packing of fish and exporting it. And when the team completely packed, did everything, and they made the project report, everything, and they put up before Birla's. And Birla took the project to his family. They used to have dinner together. And their mom told, we are all vegetarian people. What is this? So are you interested in this thing in profit, or you are just compromising with our culture? And the whole project was crashed. What I want to say, the sponsors are very, very important in all the projects, and stakeholders are also very important. Thank you.
Very good, very good, very good. Very deep insight. Thank you, Anilji. Thank you for the story. Yes. So ultimately, what is the answer of the team? What are you going to do next? That you
The
did not
next
tell.
step.
Tell me, what is the next step? After the audit brief, what are you going to do?
You have to unmute yourself, Anil sir.
We take into confidence and have total clarity and tell the benefits to all the stakeholders and take into account all our team and sponsors. This is what we are going to do, and then only after that we can undertake the project.
So what you are telling is your next step will be getting the sponsors on board.
Yes.
Very good. Team number 1.
Pooja.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will just initiate. First, let me just share with you that we have a lot of diverse views on what would be the next step. So one, we could not conclude on that. There were various different opinions. So I may be missing out some of them. I would want them to, each of us, to say what we felt about it. I felt, I'll start with this, that I felt that in the digital design brief, we already have a desired future, a vision of what we are looking into. And one of the stages after the design brief could be to actually look at this future and try to, picking up from the last slide that you said, the same thinking got us into the problem. So looking at some kind of an alternative view on the future that has been envisioned, something on, so that it breaks a group think kind of thing, that we all came together and we have come up with this solution and looking at it. So that is inconclusive, but that is the view I had. Some of the other views was to look at to charter the journey. We need to first identify what are the goals, what are the timelines, and then charter the journey and start looking at timelines and accountabilities and how the things are going to go forward. And here, Atulji, if you like to add, if I'm not able to capture, please do come in.
No, Pooja, it's okay.
And
Yeah, fine.
oh, thank you. And then Suma mentioned that this could also be a stage for brainstorming, because bringing everyone together on brainstorming. And Rajendra ji also had a view on it. If you can say, it's just missing me completely at this point. So Rajendra ji, if you can just come in and share your
My
thoughts.
point was similar to the team one's view, that you have to get back and actually show that particular problem brief to the sponsors. I mean, whosoever awarded you the project as a consultant.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
And
you.
Pushpa ji also had a view that through visualization, we can make the customer visualize our solution.
Yes, fantastic. Super. Thank you. Now I'll ask you all a simple question. I want you to answer me. Okay. You are walking on the street. Someone whom you respect very much, whom you believe very much, who has never told a lie in his life. He comes, taps you on the shoulder and says, Rajendra, kawa tera kaan leke chala gaya. And you see a crow flying. What do you do? Very seriously, I'm asking this question.
No.
What do you do? He comes and taps you on the shoulder and says, Arey Rajendra, the crow has taken your ear. What will you do? Why
I
put
think
off
check
silence?
whether the ear is really there or not.
Correct. Touch your ear and see whether it is there or not. So what should be your next step? Forget everything else. Look into the problem which they have got.
All touch points.
That is why I said the mind which created the problem cannot solve it. It has failed to solve, but you are a fresh mind. Before starting to look at other solutions, study the problem as it appears to your customer today. Then only the design process will begin. So now what should we do? Work on the existing solution. The existing solution. They have been working on an existing solution. Before rejecting it, work on it. How you will work on it, we will see. Number one, what is the method you will use? And how you can solve the problem with the existing solution. Just imagine a company has been working on a problem for 1 year, it has brought to you. You mean to tell me they don't know their problem? They don't understand their problem? Maybe they are telling many things, but they must be doing something by understanding only. Now you put your mind also to it and see what can be done. First, minimize. What is the meaning of minimize? Reduce an existing solution. What is it that you can take away from an existing solution which will make the solution workable? See, these are all, I think, now that we have come to this, I'm sure all the consultants here, all the managers here know the various ways you can handle a problem. The second is maximize. Expand the existing solution and see what it is you can bring into it from outside which will make it work. The third, transform. Means what? Transfer a solution existing in another area to this problem. Can that be done? Can you transfer something which is in another area to this solution and solve it? Number four, combine. Take one or two other solutions which the company has, executed and see whether this problem can be solved. Number four, modify or adapt. Modify the existing solution. Create changes in its architecture and see whether it can be solved. Rearrange or invert. Change or invert the order of the existing solution. And then finally substitute what it is you can substitute a part of the existing solution which will get you the results. All these you can do to the existing solution which they have failed to achieve anything with. Once you do this and you don't find the answer, only then you move forward. For a simple example, as a simple example, watch this video.
No audio, sir.
It is without audio, I think.
Sir, audio is missing.
Only body language watch.
Audio is not there?
No audio. Yeah, audio is missing.
Audio, sir. No audio.
Not at all.
Just let me see.
Bridge. How about changing this grid pattern
Yeah.
to make it symmetrical?
When people solve problems, typically they think, well, what can I add that will make it better?
Wait, also left to right. I see there's a couple of green boxes I need to change.
Oh, I could have got, this is not, I should have taken. We tend not to ask ourselves, what can we take away from it? What can we subtract? What can we remove? That might still make something better.
Lydie Klotz is an engineer who's fascinated by the psychology of design. He started to notice that people's first instinct is often to add.
One real epiphany was playing Legos actually with my son Ezra, who's about 2.5 at the time, and we were building a Lego bridge basically. And so the two columns on the bridge, one was longer than the other one. And so to make the bridge level, I turned around to grab a block to add to the shorter column. And by the time I had turned around, Ezra had just removed a block from the longer column.
Lydie realised that in many cases, removing an element actually leads to better design.
One example that we love is the balance bikes, the pedalless miniature bikes that allow 2-year-olds to ride. If you've seen a little 2-year-old going on these things, I mean, it just makes you disappointed that you didn't have it when you were a kid. But the breakthrough was just taking away the pedals.
It took decades for someone to think of removing the pedals rather than adding stabilizers. And yet, through history, people have championed different kinds of minimalism.
People are familiar with Marie Kondo, right? Tidying your home. But, you know, going back, you think Leonardo da Vinci, his famous definition of perfection is when there's nothing left to take away. And my personal favorite is Lao Tzu.
This is just to show you that removing things is also a very, very powerful way of ensuring that solutions can be found. Like that, all these things, the moment your audit is completed, go back to what they have called as a problem and the solution they have been working on and work with them. 2 things will happen because of this. Can you tell me what are the 2 things which will happen?
After
Can
the
any one
audit,
of you tell?
after the audit, sir?
No, when you go back and start working on the problem as it was and where it failed, what 2 things will happen?
First, they may not agree.
At least
What 2 things will happen?
the people will actually feel better that you are respecting their solution.
Correct. And ultimately, please remember, without their support and cooperation, you will not be able to do what you're going to do from now onwards. Ethnography, you will not be able to do because these are the people who are the stakeholders. They are the customers. They are going to work on it. So first thing is you anyway need to bring them on board and earn their confidence. And number 2, what is it?
Sponsor and stakeholders, both.
No, the second thing is these 1 or 2 small things which they might have missed, which could be the reason why the solution is not coming. You could contribute and immediately the solution will come. All the labor of going through a long winded process can be avoided. You can save money for the company. You will ensure that the people keep their respect intact. And you as a consultant, as a problem solver, would have given the solution from behind the screen and everyone will feel they have done it and everyone will be happy.
Right.
And your company will get, kudos, name, and, you will be really highly respected without really taking too much of trouble. So friends, the moment a problem comes, after you have written the design brief, don't be in a hurry to decide that I have to do something great. Not necessary. A lot of work has been done. If you can add a point here and a point there and solve the problem, it will be for everybody's benefit. Now we come to the main design process, which is the identify and the solve process. The identify process consists of discover and define.
So one small issue, sir. What was the relation with that Einstein dialogue?
You tell me, Atulji.
नहीं मेरे को नहीं समझ आया, sir. I couldn't understand.
What did Einstein say?
He said that the way the problem was defined, if we have to solve it, then we cannot do it the same way.
Now, who has created the problem?
The team actually. The original
team has created the problem, and they have a particular mindset. That is why the problem has been created. And the same mindset is working on the problem. That is why they are unable to find a solution. With your entry, your team's entry into it, the mindset is changing totally. The moment the mindset changes, the chances of the problem being solved are extraordinarily high. So go back to the same problem. Don't think of a different solution. Think with this existing solution, what it is I can do differently. Are you understanding, Atulji, what I'm telling?
Yes, sir.
Or is there any contrarian opinion or view?
It's clear, sir. To me, it's clear.
As the tailor makes the clothes, take our measurement, again you go back to the person and tell him, please wear it. Is it okay or not? Otherwise, again I will change it.
Yeah. See, Atulji, supposing, let us say you have a company approaching you for a solution to a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, who are the people who have created this problem in that company?
So it's within the company. Who's our...
The people who have come to you have only created it.
Yes.
Correct or not?
Yeah.
Now, why is that problem being created? Because they have got a limited set of capability and they have got personal agendas. Both these are there?
Yes.
Now, both these combined together has created the problem. Now, both these combined together, that which has created the problem is trying to solve the problem. The problem has been created because of a particular mindset. Will the same mindset solve the problem?
No.
If your mindset is that you will not spend money at all, you are got a miserly mindset. And there are no amenities in your house. There is no refrigerator, there is no TV, there is no telephone, there is no sewing machine, there is no water heater. All that is because you have got a miserly mindset. Now, can you solve this problem with the same mindset?
No.
At the same time, an expert comes in the form of ABC. He has been given the problem that my family is not having any amenities. What should I do? What should that person do? Start thinking of an entirely different way of looking at it. Or maybe, he can think, he could do a calculation that, okay, by not spending money, you're saving this much of money. How you can invest this money so that the same amount of money which you are saving currently can be your income. And how, while getting that income, you can take a portion of this money and buy all these amenities. If this solution is given by that person, will that not be better?
Yes.
Are you understanding what I'm telling?
Yes, sir. Got it.
The same problem. We don't have to start looking at it entirely differently. I don't even need to tell you to change your mindset. You continue to be that way. But I will show you a different path which will circumvent this problem and get all the amenities into the house. Is it clear, friends, or any other doubt in this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Atulji, are you convinced?
Yes, sir. We can go ahead.
Okay. So let us come to the discover phase first. So what do we discover? we discover customer insights. Now that you have done the work on the solution, you find it is not working, that something else is the problem, and you need to go deeper into it. Explicitly, whatever is visible might not be the answer to this problem. So if you have to understand implicitly what all is under the surface, you have to first get your customers' insight. The first mode of the design thinking framework is to discover new customer insights, whatever is visible other than that. That is what is meant by understanding the customer, their thoughts, feelings, experiences, and needs. How do you do that? You do that by data collection and data synthesis. The process of summarizing data synthesis is what? The process of summarizing and deriving meaning from the data. You collect data and then you summarize and derive meaning out of that data. And then you translate this qualitative data into customer insights. And how do you do that? You do that by creating maps. You create an empathy map. You create a customer journey map. You create an opportunity map. You create a context map. Once all these 4 maps are created with the customer, you will have a fairly good insight into what are the implicit requirements of this customer and what is it that will satisfy him as a solution. Let us first come to empathy map. You know, I always say, never believe what you hear and only half of what you see. Why do I say that? If we are never to believe what we hear and only half of what we see, how will we create an empathy map? Because everything is going to depend upon what we see and what we hear. My dear friend, there is something else beyond what we see and what we hear, which is what the empathy map is. The empathy map has got 6, boxes. The first is see. What does the customer see? And along with what he sees, what is he hearing? Now, when he sees something and hears something, what will happen? Can anyone of you tell me?
He will have some perception.
Huh?
Some perception he will form.
Perception he will form, correct? That means he will think and feel something. Correct or not? The moment he sees and hears, he will think and feel something. What will he feel? He will feel pain or pleasure, depending upon what he has seen, what he has heard. The moment he feels pain or pleasure, he will say or do something. Why will he say or do something? Because he will want to gain something, gain in terms of relief from the pain or gain in terms of enhancement of the pleasure. This, my dear friend, is called the empathy map. This is called the empathy map. Are you all clear?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
What does your customer see? What is he hearing? Because of what he is seeing and hearing, what does he think and feel? Because of what he is thinking and feeling, what is happening to him? Is he feeling pain or gain? Pain or pleasure? Through this pain or pleasure, what does he say and do? And why does he say and do that? What is going to be the gain for him? Once you plot this map, you will understand what exactly is underneath. You will understand exactly what is underneath. Should I repeat it once more?
So earlier you said that this is thinking and feel and say and do is as a consultant we have to do. Then second part you said that we have to assume what the client is also thinking and feeling and saying and doing. So both sides.
Everything. Empathy map is for everyone.
Okay.
Your client only mainly, see, the client is seeing something. He is seeing the problem. There is a visual context to that problem. Correct?
Yes, sir.
People are telling something about the problem to him. Let us say you are the CEO. You see that the supply chain or the what do you call it? The chain is blocked, stopped. People come and tell you this is what is happening, sir. Immediately you think and feel something. That what you think and feel is going to create some amount of pain or pleasure within you. Based upon your agenda, based upon your objectives, something is going to happen. Based on this, you are going to say and do something. Because you want a particular outcome. Can you relate it with something which has happened with you, Mr. Atul?
Yes, sir. I was thinking.
Huh?
Yes, sir. I can. From the client side, I could not understand why he also has to think and I also have to think, but we have to do both. First,
You see, what you will do, we will see. See, you will also see the client coming and telling you something. You will hear him say something. Now, while the client is telling that there is a huge loss that is happening to me, he's telling, right? And
Yes.
you are seeing that on the phone, he's talking in his family about going that day evening for dinner. What do you see? What do you hear?
Yeah, there is a mismatch. Yes.
There is a mismatch.
Yes.
Possibly he's exaggerating or he has got some other card up his sleeve.
Yes.
Now, if he is panicky and he is thinking that my company will collapse, what he will do? He will talk accordingly with you. That pain will make him say कि अतुल जी कुछ भी करो इस चीज को सॉल्व करना immediately. नहीं तो मेरा इस महीने का सेल खत्म हो जाएगा.
Yes.
अगले महीने में तनख्वाह नहीं दे पाऊंगा. You will say that or not?
Yes.
So you see, everything is connected. Now you are really understanding the gravity of the thing. When you do the empathy map, you fully understand what is happening. Many people give lip service, but their actions and behavior mismatch. And then you will have to dig deeper. Now, I will give you all an exercise. I will again split the room into two. What do you see here?
It's a school gate.
That is APJ school gate. Okay.
Yeah.
Outside the school gate, what do you see?
It's like a sort of a confectionery, sort of a shop.
It's a cigarette shop. It's
Cigarette
a
shop.
Pan Bidi cigarette shop.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now, draw an empathy map of the parents of the students who are studying in this school in Calcutta. This is a picture from a school in Calcutta. I want you to draw an empathy map of the parents of students who are studying in this school in Calcutta. Is it clear?
Is it for the parents or the students, sir?
Parents.
Okay.
Again, I'm telling the parents. So what are the steps you will follow? What do they see? What do they hear? What do they think? What do they feel? What do they do? Why do they do it? I'm splitting you all into two rooms, 15 minutes. Please move towards the rooms. जिगेश जी, विजय जी, जाइए रूम में. Mr. Jigish Patel, Mr. Vijay, please go to the room. Mr. Jigish. So welcome back. So how was the experience?
Experience is excellent. Only there was a little confusion in our group. We did not listen properly whether it is a cigarette shop, specifically told by you, I think. Some of our members
I told.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll go accordingly. Anji Vijay, Raju sir. Yes. So which group, sir? First?
We'll start with group number 1 this time.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Group number 1. Yeah. Experience was good because we all started putting the thinking cap as parents because we are all one. And we started seeing, what are the challenges as a parent we will see if a pawn shop.
You answer question by question. What did you see?
A pawn shop.
Stop. What did you hear?
They are selling cigarettes while, students are also have started smoking and school is not interested in the prohibition.
Are these assumptions or did you hear it?
This is what we hear from other parents and other students.
Oh, students came and told you that students are smoking, that school authorities are not listening. Did the students go and tell the school authorities that they are smoking?
No, what we said was, some students have started smoking. Our children's friends, they have started smoking and our children are telling us that my friend is smoking standing at the pawn shop. That is what we get to hear.
Okay. So he said, my friend is smoking standing in the pawn shop. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, what did you think and feel?
As parents, we thought confectionaries are okay. But, we are worried about our children's access to all these things, which should not be there.
What did you think and feel?
The confectionaries, we are thinking that, the access to food items when, children are hungry is okay. This is what we are thinking. But the feeling is the access to the wrong things of cigarette and pan is not bad, not right. That's what we are feeling.
Okay.
So
it caused you pain or it caused you pleasure?
It caused us a pain, a little bit of a pleasure that some food is available when the child is hungry.
Okay. So what did you do?
So, we were thinking about the non-compliance of the school authorities, an indifferent attitude, why the pawn shop is next to the school and why have they not banned it when it is next to the school? Is there any, who is running that shop? When there is a rule that within 100 yards, there should be no pawn shop near the school, in the vicinity of the school. Why is a pawn shop there? That's what is a pain point for us.
Your answer does not give scope for a gain.
Yes, sir.
Now, where is the scope for the gain? Where the empathy map is incomplete. My question is, what did you do? What do you say and do? Which will result in a gain. Then only the empathy map will be complete, isn't it? All the columns, all the boxes have to be filled up.
So another thing, the gain is, the parents or drivers, when they are waiting to pick up their watts, they get to smoke. That's the only gain from the parent point of view.
No. I think the action I was suggesting is that ban the tobacco or that cigarette thing and let it be as a snack shop is the action actually. Means that we have to tell.
What did you say and do? The empathy map requires that you fill up all the boxes. You saw the pawn shop. Then you hear your child come and telling you that some people are smoking. And he tells you that we go and buy chips and eat. So you are thinking that children smoking is not good, but chips being available is good. You feel pain and you feel gain. What do you do next?
I think complain about the cigarette selling or the tobacco selling part of it with the school authority.
Okay. So you go and complain to the school authorities that this should not be there. What will be the gain from that?
So but the selling of the cigarette or this tobacco needs to be banned. That is the outcome.
Okay, good.
The
Thank you to
solution-
room number 1. Quite
The
a good.
solution, sir, the solution that can be given is why not take the same shop inside and convert it to a canteen for students so that the parents also are satisfied that students get something to eat, whereas the school authorities can keep a check that nothing is like cigarettes can be sold over there.
Oh, thank you. Excellent idea. For a maiden, empathy map, it is damn good. Let's move on to room number 2.
Okay, for room number 2, what we as parents see is a shop, and what we hear is that some children are influenced in a wrong way as a result of the products which are sold in the tobacco products which are sold in the shop. And what we think and feel is that our children could also be influenced by this. And we feel that, it's good that if they feel hungry in between or whatever it is, they can go and get it. Accessibility is there. And what we are going to act is that we are going to write a letter to the school authorities stating that there should not be any tobacco products sold in the shop, and no shop within the 500 meters vicinity of the school should actually sell any of the tobacco products and all that. What is the pain? The pain is our children also could be influenced by those activities or tempted. And the gain is that if they want an energy drink or some stationeries or something to eat, they can get the accessibility from the shop, which is just adjacent to the school. That's it from us.
Fantastic, fantastic. Very frankly speaking, it's an amazingly good empathy map which you people have created for a maiden venture. Very good. Now let us see. Let us see how, nearly 80% you people got it right. And that's an amazing thing. What does the parent see? The parents see a pawn shop next to the school. It is selling, cigarette, gutka, and other things, and chips and other things, everything. What do they hear? They hear that cigarette, gutka, pan are the leading causes of cancer, lack of appetite, stunted growth, impotence, etc., 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 etc. Every day they see in the movies that smoking causes cancer and all these things they hear. What do they think and feel? They think that a pawn shop near a school is undesirable, feel concerned and worried that their children might develop this habit. What is the pain? The worry about their children going astray. What do? They write to the school authorities complaining that as per the law, there should be no cigarette pawn shop near the school premises for 200 meters, and they should immediately take action and ensure that they are removed. What is the gain? Protecting the future of that child. It is as simple as that. Keep it very simple. Very, very simple. Is it clear, friends?
Yes.
This is just one of the maps which you made.
Yes.
Now we will go on to the next map. That is the context map. The context map is the product of the circumstances or setting in which it will be used and which adds meaning to its existence. What is the context in which the problem is existing? And what is the context in which the user-centered design is going to be applied? The user design experience designer needs to know the broader vision of the product that is being designed. He needs to know who is going to use this product and how. The context map is a procedure for conducting contextual research with users in their context. It aims to inform and inspire the design team where users and stakeholders actively participate in the design process. Please understand one thing, all the people will participate in it. That is why these context maps are very important, because it will clarify the context to everyone, not just to the design team. It will also explain the context to the stakeholders, because if the stakeholders have a different view of the context, then their vision of the end product will be different. Both the stakeholders, the users who are going to be using your solution, the designers, that is you, need to be on the same page where the context is concerned. Only then a good fit between the design and the use of the product can be created, because all products are context specific. The other one is the opportunity map. Opportunity map helps the organization to create new services and improving existing services based on ideas and concepts generated from customer research. Because customer research is what will help you understand the opportunities which are existing in the market, why such an opportunity exists. This activity provides the business stakeholders to prioritize the opportunities and to create a roadmap for products and services. Which product and service should come first, which should come after it, will be decided by the opportunities which exist as per the context in which we are going to be discussing the problem. Let us understand the context map through what is called a motion sensor for the elderly. What is the biggest problem that elderly people have?
Fixed mindset.
No, I think we are talking about they may fall if they're alone.
101% correct. Falling down and breaking a few bones or concussion in the bathroom is a very, very, very common thing with elderly. What is the second biggest problem with elderly? Because of nuclear family, the elderly have started living alone now. Their children and their family are away. They are living alone. And whenever a crisis is precipitated, reaching the news to them is a very, very important thing, so that timely help can be provided to them. Am I correct or wrong?
Correct.
Right.
So now the design problem, we will see how to do a context mapping here. The context mapping is for a motion sensor, which will tell you when the elderly person is falling. How do you create a context map? Who is the target? Elderly, ages 65 and above, living alone at home, needs immediate attention or help if he or she falls. Children of the elderly need to be notified immediately. I and my wife stay alone. I am 65 plus. If something were, and now I am alone at home during this program, my wife has gone to my son's house. Now, if something happens, she needs to be informed immediately. He needs to be notified immediately. So I am the target customer. This motion sensor is for me and my type. What are the technology factors here? Existing technology of motion sensors, what is available, you'll have to know. And connect remotely through an app. How to ensure that it can be connected remotely through an app is the next step that you have to look into. In the context of my living alone and the possibility of my falling and the need to inform my children in time, the designer will have to look into the various technologies which are currently available and see how they can be connected remotely through an app which will immediately inform the stakeholders of such an event having occurred. What are the uncertainties here? Adoption rate of the elderly. Number one, am I amenable to adopting such a technology? This is a major issue. Because most elderly people are not comfortable with current day technology. Am I correct or wrong?
Correct.
Yeah, that is right.
So a designer will have to first take into account what will be the adoption rate of the elderly. Second is, how do we modify the house so that these motion sensors can work optimally? Because if the house is not modified accordingly, for instance, then the doors should be such that you should not be able to lock it from inside, but still it should provide you security so that anyone cannot enter. There should be railings in the house inside itself so that the fall can be broken. There should be enough motion sensors all over the house in the rooms so that they can catch each and every act of yours. So the whole house has now to be modified. Is that a feasible thing to do? And then finally, what is the execution part of it? Let us say my son is in New York and here. How informing him that I have fallen in a bathroom in Bangalore will help? And even if it was to help, let us assume from there he can contact someone here. How will that person be able to locate my house and come into the room? So all these things, how do you execute it? All these are challenges of the context in which we are looking into the problem. Am I clear, friends?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Very clear.
Before going further, I would like to know, are there any questions in these various verticals which they have to take into account in the context map?
Yeah, the threat of security in the sense that they will be on camera most of the time. They could be on the camera. They say security is breached. The privacy is breached. I mean, not security.
Privacy should not be breached. They will not. That's why adoption rate of the elderly. Will they be willing to be watched every day like an animal? They might not be willing.
Yeah.
Correct or not? So, and then secondly, there might be various acts which they will have to do to ensure that it is keeping on upgrading. Will they be willing to do that? Will they understand it? Adoption rate is a very big problem. Second thing is, you will have to modify the flats or the houses in which they are staying. Will that be possible? What are the economies of scale? Then how will you execute it?
You keep some help. We keep some helper with him. Some young boy helper.
Then why do you require technology?
They are more dangerous.
You see, as a design thinker, this is how you prepare a context map. You first identify the segment that you are addressing. Then you see what are the technologies available, how they have to be integrated to provide the solution. 3, whether the target segment will be amenable to adopting it. 4, are you in a position to modify the ecosystem so that these adoptions and these integrations of technology will fit in? 5, what is the mode of executing it? Then we come to the trends. The current trend is the aging society is increasing, rising affluence of the silver generation. The gray-haired people today are more moneyed than they were earlier. With money comes arrogance. With money comes independence. Earlier, old people, they were all totally dependent on their children and were very, very amenable to suggestions. Today, they tell their child, you go take a walk. I will live the way I want. I don't need you. And increasing one-person household is there. Both husband and wife keep aging. One of them pass away. The other is not willing to go anywhere. He stays put that way itself and creates a nuisance for everybody. This is the current trend, and it is in this context that this motion sensor has to be created. Business factors, there are currently no competitors. Nobody is there. So you have got an open field. You are in a blue ocean. If you can come up with something which answers all these things, guys, you have hit a gold mine.
Hello.
Yes.
There is two concerns. One is a disaster management is not there. Electricity down all of a sudden. Hello.
Okay.
Electricity down, then all the technologies and cameras and sensors, what happened to that? Number one.
Okay.
And other part is how till how long, because in this certainty electricity is down for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever time, right? Then sensor will not work. If that notification goes to the concern from the technology itself, that there is a power backup down or whatever, that's it. But what is the other remedy? Because our restoring power may take some time. Till that time, what?
Inverter.
What do you want to tell? We are only talking about the context.
Okay.
Disruption and exceptions are not the rule. They only prove the rule. All metals are solid. Mercury is a liquid. Mercury being a liquid only proves the rule that all metals are solid. It does not disprove that rule. So you see, supposing electricity will go for some time, that is it's an incident. It is not the context. We are creating a context map. Are you understanding? Who was that who was speaking?
Myself, Bhavesh.
Mr. Bhavesh.
Yes.
Mr. Bhavesh, we are talking about the context in which this thing is going to be done. Once the context and all these things are clear in the execution part, possibly this could be one of the factors which we can ask the designers to think of. But tell me, you are from which city?
Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. How many hours in a year does the current go there?
I have seen once in a, not even once in a blue moon.
But it can happen, as you rightly said. It can happen.
It can happen.
It can happen. You see, there is nothing like it can't happen. There can be a massive.
Not talking about anything. Not talking. We are fortunate in terms of electricity in Gujarat. That is, we are fortunate. But I have seen that even capital, even in Dehradun, there is a 8 hours.
That's what I'm telling you. See, we are talking about the context. We are not talking about the eventualities.
Understood, sir. Understood.
We are talking about the context. The context is that the elderly, the 65 plus population is increasing. The demographic profile is that they are very moneyed today. They are independent. They are not amenable to suggestion. And the number of households with only one elderly person with the other having passed away is increasing. Now, just because they are affluent does not mean they will not fall. So what happens? We will have to create a motion sensor. That is one of the possible answers for it. There could be n number of other answers. For sake of understanding this context map,
I'm associated with one startup company which is taking care of all elders and all, right? And we were thinking of doing such kind of device. There was some other device, not the motion sensor, but some other device we were thinking on that. That is why this is my interest.
So you can use this context map. Did you use this context map to create the profile of the product?
Yes, somewhat, not the exact one.
Okay, create this one.
Okay.
This is a tested context map which is used by design thinkers. You have the target segment, you have the technology factors. I have only given a few points for paucity of the space also. You can put other technological points also in this. Then the uncertainties which are there. Then you can bring in what is the current trend among the elderly. who are the competitors, what are they doing, what product is being used in place of what you are thinking. It need not necessarily be the same type, but it could be servicing the same requirement. All those things you bring. Then you come in with any other question regarding any government funding or support is there. And like that, you can create other questions about it, and you have a context map. You have the empathy map. You have the context map. Let us move on to the opportunity map. The opportunity map is plotted on the retail being one side and the home base being the other, the mass being one side and the exclusive being the other. Can any one of you tell me which is the most populated area here? Where are the maximum opportunities?
Mumbai.
Not place. The maximum opportunities are in the mass retail outside. Exclusive outside is very less. Very, very less. And the funny part of it is, before the COVID, home base, be it mass or exclusive, was really non-existent. Really non-existent. But under the circumstances, where do you think the opportunity lies?
Home and mass. Home and mass.
Home and mass. Why would you say that?
Because now most of the things are home based, and it is not exclusive. Whether it is work or people together, no schools, no colleges, everything online from home. So most of the opportunities are in that area, home and mass.
Airports and railway station.
When you say everything is retail based, the entire world has gone online. Correct or not, Mr.
Yes.
Atul?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, be it the lower middle class, lower upper class, everyone has gone.
Yes, everyone is online. Yes.
So that way, if you say home base is very evenly distributed. Because even today, the real poor, they are not on the online thing. So where is the real opportunity lying here? Supposing you had to start a business, where would you like to focus?
So I think the question is probably need a little bit of clarity.
Can I ask you a question here?
Please.
So this mass versus exclusive or retail versus this thing. So
retail means you go out of your house, outside. You're not at home.
No, but especially exclusive versus mass, are we talking about some kind of a economic gradation there actually?
Mass is bulk, generic. Mass is something like generic. Exclusive is services being given exclusively to you. 5-star hotel is exclusive. It's not mass. Restaurant, a regular restaurant, your Vasant Vihar and all these are mass.
Right.
You go to the Piri Cardin showroom, or you go to Rolex showroom, or you go to Audi car. Those are all exclusive. Maruti 800 and motorcycles are mass. Are you understanding what I'm telling?
No, I understood. Only thing is, since you mentioned about extremely poor, that's why I was asking whether there were some grades like middle class, lower middle class.
We have over a large percentage of our population are living in the slum, and they don't do online shopping.
Right.
Isn't it? Now, all those who can do online shopping are evenly distributed.
Chalo, phal kharid ke aate.
Who is it? Can you please mute? Now let us see. When you look into the situation, who is the person who is not affected by COVID economically?
Daily
Who's
wage,
working from home.
Huh?
daily earner, daily wage.
They are all very severely affected.
Somebody who falls in exclusive on home based.
This is where the opportunity really lies. Because this portion, the mass, here, there is a severe reduction in the disposable income. There's a severe reduction in the disposable income. And this segment is going to be very careful with their money. The only segment which is going into impulse behavior and spending is this segment. Because to overcome their anxiety and fear, they are going to go in for mass expenditure. And they have got a lot of disposable income with them. But at the same time, it is not also completely true. Because there is one segment here which is going to be spending a lot. Let us look at two companies, how they are moving from here to here, and then the other coming from here to here. The company which is here, which is going to be operating here, will have to innovate for sale and sustainability. The company which is here will have to move towards this. The company here is companies like Homescape by Workshala. Homescape by Workshala is moving from here to here. Homescape from Workshala is a company which was giving out workspaces in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, like that, around 5,000, workspaces they had. When the COVID hit, they had to shut down everything. Immediately, they started providing work from home solutions at home. Work from home was mainly done by the middle class and the lower upper class people who were in the IT sector. And they were here. So you see, they started the business here. Now what they are doing, they are moving exclusively and started giving it to CEOs and C-suite managers of various corporations by talking directly to the corporate and providing them service exclusively by building offices in their residences. So they have moved from here to here. And who is it who has moved from here to here? Can you give me one example? Can any one of you give me an example of a company which started at the exclusive stage and moved towards the mass now?
There is one in Gurgaon, American Express.
No, it is Urban Clap. Urban Clap started for the exclusive with all sorts of services, and now they are spreading to all the cities, even tier 2 cities, and giving the salon at home offer. This is how you have to work out your opportunity map. This is a very crude way of doing it, but I think you are getting an idea about it.
Bhavesh here. Bhavesh here.
Who is it?
Bhavesh here.
Yes, Mahesh.
One company has done the similar case in our city. He was used to provide the kind of oxygen cylinders and beds and other things to the hospitals. During the COVID time, they switch over that they approach the society, those who have clubhouse, they set the entire COVID quarantine center in clubhouse and all.
Excellent.
The society and society.
See, that again is an exclusive behavior. It is not mass. Because they are approaching only those societies which have clubhouses, that means
yes,
big
absolutely,
societies.
Absolutely, exclusive big societies.
Huh? So you see, this is how you create your opportunity map. You plot the map and see where the opportunity is. Now we come to by far one of the most important things called the customer journey.
Sir, a quick doubt about the Urban Clap. I'm just trying to
Yeah, please
understand.
tell me.
about the urban club, because still urban club, for an example, if we book for any service, they come home and do the service, which I consider they are in the exclusive space. So when we talk about mass space, again, when we say mass salon at home, is again that's something becoming exclusive, right, sir? Because
No,
they are again
it is no exclusive means what, Gopi? What I mean to say is today they are charging you around 400 rupees for a service, if I'm not mistaken, right? But in the mass stage, will they be able to charge 400 rupees? They will have to charge only 100 rupees, 150 rupees.
Correct.
They have not gone to that level now. And second thing is at the exclusive stage, what they are doing, they are giving pedicure, manicure, body massage, head massage, everything they are doing. Yes. But will that be possible at the mass stage? Will the mass, the lower middle class, will they be asking for these things?
No.
Third thing, the number of hairstylists and masseurs that they will require, will they be able to source that many of them for the mass stage? At this moment, they are operating only in the metropolitan cities, in the main cities. Now they are slowly moving into what is called the two-tier city. What they are doing is they are offering the barber shop people part-time job. That means they are not having a ready-made group of people with them. Supposing you see in Electronic City, there are 3 salons. The barbers who are working in those salons, they are registered with Urban Club. If you book, they come to your house. Do it and go away. And for that, they are charging very less amount. This sort of an outsourcing they are doing in the 2-tier and 3-tier cities. But even in a place like Bangalore, now they are in so much demand, you will have to wait for days to be able to book them. That means this trend is catching on. Because today people are not willing to go to the salon out of fear what they will catch them.
Correct.
You see, please understand one thing. What you will catch in salon, you can catch at home because of the barber. There is nothing to stop this thing from happening. But when he comes home, you feel greater comfort that it is happening in the comfort of your house. It is all a perception game. And once you are able to map the opportunities available, you can take a measured decision. Is it clear, Gopi?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else, any questions, or should we move to customer journey?
Customer journey, sir.
We'll move to customer journey. Having a customer journey map is very essential to understand the touch points. What is a customer journey? Can any one of you tell me?
Customer journey is customer centric.
Customer journey is, let us say you want to have coffee. Okay. You have gone to this coffee shop. This is a coffee day coffee shop. You have gone to this coffee shop. And you have your coffee and come out. I want you to map everything that you have done. From the moment you land outside the coffee shop till you come out. Is it clear? Watch this shop very clearly. We are going to do a 20-minute 2-team breakout room exercise where you are going to tell me you are entering the coffee shop to get a cup of coffee, identify the various activities and the touch points where the experience can be enhanced. What is your experience of going into this coffee shop and having a coffee and coming out? And what do you think are the places where your experience could have been better? Is it clear? Am I clear? Or is there anything I need to explain? No answer.
So essentially right from the beginning to the end of your I mean from arrival to the exit, what experience the customer, individual customer is going to go through, that is the customer journey you are saying.
Yes, customer journey, that is the journey. You are outside the coffee shop, you enter the coffee shop, and then you come out of the coffee shop after having the coffee. Everything that you do in between, which is either lowering your experience or increasing your experience. That is what is the main reason why we go to a coffee shop, man. We have particular preference. I want to go to this restaurant. There must be a reason for it. What is the reason? My experience in the restaurant is better. I don't want to go to another restaurant. Why? Because my experience is not good. Now, what is causing the experience to be better or what is causing the experience to be bad? Everything has got a journey. Everything under the sun is a journey. You have come, you are attending this program. That's also a customer journey. And my objective should be to ensure that your customer journey is enhanced. Do you realize that these breakout rooms are done at those critical points which I want you to remember in your mind? Why did I do that breakout room right after the audit? It is to highlight the fact that after the audit, don't jump into the design process immediately. Go back to the earlier problem as told by them and look into it. Then you see, then I spoke to you about empathy map, because empathy map is very closely aligned to ethnography and your observations. So I made you do that. Now, the third most critical thing in any sort of a designing process is understanding the customer journey. How you should plot a customer journey map. Go ahead and do it. You've got 15-20 minutes time. I'm breaking the room, the team into two. The rooms are open. Please design the customer journey map. Please move, join and start immediately. Mr. Bose, Mr. Govindaswamy, please go and join.
Sir, I'm on mobile device, but I have not got any prompt. Chat meet settings.
Just a minute, wait.
Yeah.
Now, have you got it?
Yeah.
Please move. Mr. Govindaswamy, can you please go to your room? Srinivas, have you got your prompt? Welcome back, friends. So how was the experience?
Wonderful.
What do you mean by that? The sound says it was far from wonderful.
No, we had a detailed discussion, and everyone contributed, and we have come
Beautiful.
with
I think Shyam, you have learned the nuances of group discussion. You are telling all the right things. At least,
No, I'm used to. I'm used to all these.
That is one thing you have mastered now.
Our group really enjoyed little good music and glamour there.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, now let us have group number 2. Tell me what the experience of the group discussion was, and then tell me the journey in as short sentences as possible.
The group discussion was just to write, like, initially there was a confusion if we are talking about our own journey, or is it going to be more of something which enhances the customer experience. Then I think you also came in and clarified that it is more to do with customer experience. As a customer, what we are going to kind of experience in the
your journey.
Yeah,
you have entered the shop. You have
yes.
tell what happened to you.
Yeah, so we have taken, like, each one of us input. So as soon as as you said, like, we are standing outside the door. So before we enter into the shop, the shop did take care of the sanitization and the temperature check, which gave us a little bit of confidence. Okay, they are following the COVID process. And as soon as we entered, by seeing the crowd, we found that there is no social distancing, no mask, which is definitely puts me at risk. And we also found it is not just coffee shop or tea shop alone. There is also liquor being kind of sold, and the smell of the liquor is disturbing. But one thing which we found as a customer standing beneath the pillar which was shown in the picture, we felt the service was good, but some of us also felt we don't want the waiter to come and serve every time. We want as much as possible an unattended service because of COVID protocols. But the taste of coffee tea is at the best, and it is also a place which has got more diversified option, where if few people want to prefer coffee or tea, juice, liquor, it is going to kind of serve the audience put together in the same place. But the dalda which is there on the pillar is slightly disturbing us. We felt it could have been kind of better in terms of aesthetic effect. And one other input is on a lighter note and a funny note. Wow, the girls were beautiful inside, so that has actually given a Josh feel, and we wanted to kind of visit this place often, and this is the place we need to go for tea. So that's some of the experiences from each one of us.
Just a small addition is that Mr. Gopi was sitting behind the pillar when the photograph was taken.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. Let us go on to room number 1.
Okay. I think we missed looking at the specific picture, but we focused more on the overall journey one may have. Okay. So from that perspective, we have put the things like from the decision to enter to entry to getting seated. Then once you settle, then what happens? I mean, how do you carry out your own stuff? All these aspects actually we have covered here. So essentially all the touch points we tried to actually segregate, and at each point, what could be the expectations we have put it.
Very good. Okay, thank you, folks. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So how is the customer journey? You are standing outside the shop. You enter the shop. Look for a place to sit. Identify the place to sit. Goes to the cash counter. Pay the money. Take the token. Come and stand in line for the coffee. Give the token in the counter. Take the coffee. Go to where you have looked for the place. Sit down. Have your coffee. get out. This is the customer journey. Now, where are the touch points in this? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
Everything else which you are thinking and all those things form a support to the customer journey. It is not the customer journey. As I told you right in the beginning, design thinking is about simplicity and common sense. Don't complicate it. As a design thinker, the biggest mistake you can make is complicate something, then you will miss everything. Now we will see the customer journey and what happens in that customer journey, and see how you can identify touch points where you can enhance the experience of your customer. Activity. Enter cafe day, find a seat, buy the coffee, wait for the coffee, drink the coffee. This is all. Is there anything else in this? Tell me. Is there any other activity involved in that?
It really depends upon your purpose actually over there. Like for example, if you're there only to drink coffee, that's a different. But if it is a business meeting, then the objective may be different.
What did I tell you? Did I say you're going to hold a conference there? I said you want to go to cafe day to have coffee.
Okay, no problem.
Why do you want to assume all those things?
Okay, got the point.
Huh? And you are doing, and why would you go to a cafe day with a team for a business meeting? There are so many other 100 good places for it. I told you want to have a coffee, you go to cafe day. Now, number 2, what are you doing? Now, for this, you are doing something. What is it? Look at the cafe surrounding you. Go stand outside. The doors are closed. You can't see what's inside. You look at the cafe surrounding. Walk around the cafe. Because from the road, you'll have to get to the door. Queue at the counter to be served. Wait at the counter for the coffee. And then you go and get yourself seated at the table. This is what is the activity that you are doing. Touch points. The first touch point is the entrance. What is it you can do in the entrance which can enhance the experience of the customer? Could you possibly put a CCTV camera, display outside which shows you how many people are there, whether there is open table or not, whether it is overcrowded, if there is a long queue, maybe you are in a hurry, you would not want to wait for the coffee. Is there something you can do at the counter, at the entrance, which can maybe enhance your experience? Maybe you could have a poster announcing of various deals which are available inside so that you don't have to go and, ask people. Second thing, the space inside. What is it you can do there which can further enhance the experience of the customer? How is it spaced? What can you do there? The cash counter and the price display. Many of these, have names of coffees which 90% of the people don't understand. Prices are without GST. Some places it is with GST. What is it you can do at the cash counter which can enhance the experience of the customer? Or is it necessary to have only one cash counter? Could you have payment, what do you call it, whatever you call that, ATMs, about all over the place, you just go pay that.
Non-cash transactions.
Yeah, whatever it is. And you can have something stands like that where you can go and pay. Then, the cash counters will not be that crowded. Then the counter where the coffee is going to be served, where you have to go and stand in a queue with the counter in the slip in your hand and wait for the coffee to be served. And then once you have taken that, maybe you have decided upon a seat, that seat is already taken. You have to again search for a seat. and go and sit down? What is it that can be done at the seat place? These are touch points. The entrance is a touch point. The coffee space is a touch point. The cash counter is a touch point. The coffee counter is a touch point. The seat is a touch point. What is it you can do at each of these places to enhance the experience? All this will depend upon the journey that the individual person has when he enters into this shop. This is not a standard thumb rule for all coffee counters. Please understand that. This is for this particular coffee shop where you have entered. Thoughts. What are the thoughts which are going in your mind? Am I entering the right place? Is it right at this time of the day? Can I find a seat? How much is the coffee's cost? How long do I have to wait for the coffee to come? When you are having the coffee after getting the seat, you are having a great feeling. Now you have seated yourself, you have got the coffee which you wanted, and there is a sense of relief and a sigh of relief. What are the feelings? Let us plot the chart on a plus and minus. When you enter, you are neutral. Then when you enter and see the crowd, it comes down. Now you have to find a seat. That is a dip in the. Then you go and pay. The moment you are paid, that is a good feeling that you have now committed yourself to the coffee. And then it has come down as you wait for the coffee. Then as you drink the coffee, it goes up. What are the improvement opportunities? Number one, at the entrance, what is it you can do? Maybe, you could have a usher or availability status, which shows you where you can go and sit to find a seat. Multiple payment facilities you could create within the shop so that they don't have to go and wait at the counter. Because here, if you see, here there is a dip. When you give a usher, this dip can be pushed up to normalcy. Here, the person has reached the normalcy when he has purchased the coffee. If you can create multiple counters, he could even go up and feel better. Make waiting time interesting. What is it you can do to make his waiting time interesting so that this can be pushed up? In many of the Saravana Bhavans and Woodland hotels and other places you must have seen, the paper mat on which they serve, it contains puzzles and other things, maybe on which you can work so that, waiting time, they are trying to make it interesting. Something can you make that interesting as they are waiting for the coffee in the counter so that, this dip in the experience can be pushed up. And then explore and reinforce the experience. You have been able to give a good experience with your coffee. What is it you can do? How can you reward the person by involving him in the entire process so that there is a co-creation and he feels committed to come back to you again? Is it clear, or do you want me to repeat it again?
I think
Clear, sir.
Is the concept clear?
Yes, clear.
There could be lacunas in the execution, but is the concept clear?
Yeah.
Clear, sir, clear.
Or do you want me to go through it once more?
Concept is clear, sir.
Clear,
Okay.
clear.
Then we will not go through it once more. What we will do instead is, it's going to be, it is about 10 minutes to 10, so I will not start a new segment. I'm going to give you a homework because I'm not very happy with the way the customer journey thing was done. What we will do is, you will plot a customer journey for an emergency which has occurred. Map the customer journey of a patient. Map the customer journey of a patient from his home to the emergency room in the hospital. This is the emergency room. This is the patient. This is the nurse checking him. And then the doctor arrives and checks him. I want you to map the customer journey, a trip to the hospital emergency room. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
A trip to the hospital emergency room. Suddenly an emergency occurs. From that moment onwards, you have to map. Exactly the way I had mapped it, you map it.
It is for the patient?
Done.
Yes, yes, for the patient, right?
Patient and
until the treatment actually
will be there along with the patient. Nah?
Until he gets rid of that emergency room, that means, or actually the doctor arrives and treats him.
Yes. Till that happens. That one block. What is the customer journey? Where all are the touch points where you can enhance
Members'
the
pain
experience?
points also will be there over here. No?
Yes, there are a number of pain points. See, the whole objective is how do we enhance a customer's experience? A customer is buying only an experience when he buys a product, isn't it? As design thinker, supposing, let us say, a person comes to you with a problem. What is his journey? Unless you map the journey, how will you be able to create the touch points which needs to be addressed? I'll ask a simple question. Supposing, let us say, a company wants, and they come to you, and there is no problem or anything, no problem. Everything is hunky-dory, everything is going on fine. The managing director comes and tells the consultants here, he says, I want a 30% revenue growth, bottom line growth in my company within the next 2 years. Or let us say you have taken over as a CEO in a company where the mandate given to you is within the next 5 years, you will have to double the bottom line. And there are various other factors they have given you. They say that geographical area, this many new geographical areas you have to enter, this many new products have to be launched, and this much of top line has to be increased. All those things are given. But majorly, they want you to double the bottom line within the next 5 years. What do you do? Who is the customer here?
The company.
Correct.
Top management.
Company. Now, what is this company's journey? What is this company's journey called? Is there a name for this company's journey? Because unless you are able to map this company's journey, how will you know where the touch points are, where you can address so that you can improve the bottom line?
So we are talking about the growth journey or profitability, whatever.
Journey.
Okay.
My journey also, I presume, accommodates my hands and legs. A corporate journey is a corporate journey. It encompasses everything. Where will you address it? To understand this, you have to understand customer journey. Once you understand, separate this customer journey which we are discussing, you will be able to map the corporate journey. Very easily you will be able to map it. I will not confuse you by talking about it now, but I will talk about it with this group itself before the course ends, after the customer journey ends, and once you have understood this and you can map it, we will discuss that. No issues. Okay, but first, very pragmatically, don't see, one of the biggest problems that we have is we allow our mind to wander too much. Think like a small child. You know, you remember that design thinker in the video, what he said? They had built a Lego bridge where one of the legs was longer than the other. He was looking around for another extra Lego piece to add it and balance it. He turned around and saw that his 2.5-year-old son had already solved the problem. He had taken off one of the Lego pieces. A child is so simple, it goes directly to the problem. It is not constrained by thinking of it as a problem and a solution. It simply saw that one side was bigger than the other. It made one of the sides smaller. That's all. So similarly, you know, we need to be able to think in very granular way. In granularity lies your solution. Now just think, have any one of you faced an emergency in your house?
Yes.
Who is it?
Rajendra.
What did you do?
Hmm?
What did you do?
What did I do? Actually, it was for my father, so I had to call up the 108 number.
Okay.
So
then what happened?
Then this the ambulance actually arrived.
So you see, the journey has begun. From where did it begin?
From
Calling
calling the number.
108.
Call 108.
Calling 108. You called 108, ambulance arrived. Then what happened?
So then actually they the next thing was to take my father down to the ambulance from home. So that
You
itself
just recount what happened. Don't think too much. Something happened, isn't it?
Right.
What happened? Just say that. Don't try to justify. Don't try to explain.
Mm-hmm. So the doctor actually arrived. He examined and he said that he needs to be hospitalized. So let us take him downstairs to the ambulance.
So in your case, the doctor arrived first.
I mean, in the ambulance itself, yeah.
In the ambulance. So there was a paramedic, or he was a full
Paramedic, right?
Paramedic. So
But he was more like more of doctor only.
He was a paramedic.
Yeah.
Paramedics will always be there to attend to emergency situations. Don't call him a doctor.
Okay.
So first thing is, I called up 108. Ambulance arrived. Paramedic came up, saw the situation was grave, transported him to the ambulance from the first floor or the second floor. We had to navigate, go to the ambulance. He was put in a stretcher, put in the ambulance, made comfortable, given first aid. The ambulance moved towards the hospital. The journey has begun. Simple. Make it as simple as possible. You will find all the touch points appearing automatically. Don't think too much.
Yeah.
As I told you, design thinking is about doing. See, solutions come from doing. Confusion comes from thinking. Go by the simple logic. The more you think, the more you will complicate the issue.
Right,
Simply
got it.
put point by point by point. Enter shop, buy token, collect coffee, go sit down, drink, get out. Customer journey complete. Now, what is happening everywhere?
The problem was, sir, you gave 20 minutes. Had you given only 5 minutes, it would have been solved easier, I think.
Yeah. Who is
You
that?
gave more
Pooja,
time to think.
Pooja.
Pushpa.
Pushpa. I think we have to be very careful with you.
Very logical answer. Very logical.
Very logical.
Logical and legal answer.
What I should have done ideally for you all to understand design thinking best is kept the program for 5 minutes, called you and told design thinking, customer journey, go home. That would have been the best way of handling it. That gives me a good input as to what I should do next.
But sir, the devil is in the details, sir. Devil is in the detail. The devil is in the details, sir.
No, but Over
No,
engineering is a problem sometimes.
See, I fully agree with you, Atul. The devil is in the details. Okay, I don't disagree with you at all. And this can mean many things, Atul. It can mean many things. One of the biggest problems is we overtax ourselves. And in the process, we start imagining things. And we don't get the solution. Can you unmute your video, Atul?
It was not me, sir. Someone else spoke.
No. Can you unmute the video? It was Mahesh. No, I fully agree. But you see, in design thinking, you can get the best results only when, I told right in the beginning, design thinking is pure common sense. Correct? You see, the moment Rajendra Sapre said that sentence, that he spoke around 3 sentences about his father going to the hospital, right? I can tell you where he found the problem in these 3 sentences. Can any one of you tell me where he found the problem? There was a problem that day. I will tell you where that problem was.
How to go to the ambulance.
Yes, absolutely right. Pooja caught it bang on target. How to shift him from his house, from his room to the ambulance was a problem which Rajendra Sapre faced that day. Am I right, Rajendra? You are muted.
Yes, absolutely.
See, the construction of the sentence tells you that there was a problem there, touch point.
Yeah.
You see, like this, when you write your thing, you will be able to catch it. And you see, as you practice the customer journey, the touch points will become beautifully visible. Where solution is necessary, what sort of a solution is necessary, what will enhance the solution, what could the ambulance have equipped itself with so that such patients can be brought from their room in the higher floors to the ambulance safely and comfortably. Something must have been missing in the ambulance that day, due to which the problem must have occurred. See, these are the things, which goes to enhancing the experience of the customer. This is where customer journey is very important. See, the moment he said, the doctor, what did I ask? Oh, so the doctor had come along with the ambulance. Then only he characterized as a paramedic. As good as a doctor. A doctor never comes with the ambulance. He will never come. And the paramedics are called triage nurses. See, when you map out your customer journey, you will find all the points where the problems are there. And this is a very, it's not necessary that everyone should have faced the same problem. The problems could be different in different places. That is because every organization, every hospital does not put into place all the things which are necessary for a good customer experience. Can you tell me why that happens? Can you tell me why the experience of people in different hospitals is different?
Depends, actually. It is policy based. Sometimes, like what is their own philosophy behind running the hospital?
Because they don't look at you as a customer, they look at you as a patient.
Yeah.
If they look at you as a customer, they'll be bothered about you. They think they are God and you are a patient. This is the difference between the Western countries, the advanced countries, and India, and some of these, yet to reach that level of customer consciousness countries.
Hospitals is sellers market always.
Huh?
Hospital is sellers market always.
Okay, then folks, it is 10:05. Let us break, and please come tomorrow morning at 9:45. Don't be late. 9:45 with the hospital, the emergency room customer journey. Please think over it and create it. Okay? We will discuss that and then move on to the other things. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.